and welcome to another episode of Let's Talk Money with Friends. Every Wednesday, we come to you, to your home and your car, wherever you are, to really share some important information and discuss great topics about money, life, and so many different areas of our lives that we need to talk about and have conversation about. Tonight, this conversation is very important to me, and I'm sure it will be very important to you as well. It's a conversation that we all ought to be pondering on a daily basis. And the topic tonight is forgiveness matters. Why is it important to not only learn how to forgive others, but most importantly, ourselves? I always think about the scripture that talks about, love others as yourself. Implication is that in order for you to be able to love other people, you gotta first love yourself. And I believe the same is true when it comes to forgiveness. You will never be able to forgive other people and be able to create healthy relationships with others after they've done you wrong, perhaps, or after you've gone through a major difficult situation if you haven't learned to forgive yourself. So without further ado, I would like to welcome my two great friends who are on tonight. One is a new friend, and of course, the other one is a returning friend. And so we'll give our first guest, the newest friend, an opportunity to say hello and to introduce herself to our audience tonight.
Hello, thank you so much, Gabrielle. It's a pleasure to be here on your show. And I want to first and foremost thank you, and also thank my friend Peppertree Robert, Peppertree Neuropathy, for connecting us and giving me the opportunity here to share. My name is Regression Jean-Pierre. I am a family nurse practitioner and lifestyle and energy medicine consultant. And I support my client to use their mind, their energy, to heal their body from the inside out. So talking about forgiveness is, it's amazing because that's one of the topics that I love to talk about, because forgiveness and healing match together. So thank you so much. And I'm looking forward to just get into the conversation and marinate in it and share your idea. And also I want to say hello to Queen Dawn. It's a pleasure to be here with you. And I am looking forward to exchange ideas, support each other, and also learn from each other. Thank you so much.
Definitely. Thank you, Garcia. And I'm so glad you said that, because I think I called you, or I was talking to you, Queen, and I said, I just met a lady. You and her have a lot in common, and you're going to like her. So yes, Dawn, my darling Dawn, please introduce yourself.
Hey, peace, everyone. This is amazing. I love this show, and especially to be on a show with another healer. So I'm Queen Dawn Spirit. My website is queendawnspirit.com. My YouTube channel is Queen Dawn Spirit, and my IG is Queen Dawn Spirit. I'm a Reiki master teacher. I'm a past life regression therapist. I'm a future life progression therapist. I'm an officiant, oracle card reader, as well as a pendulum reader, as well as a AO technician scanner. And I love everything about healing. So seeing this phenomenal nurse practitioner, this queen that is a nurse practitioner, and she's into energy healing, because it's been so many times when I want to talk to other people about healing in the line of work, some people are like deer in headlights and they're not ready. So when you talk to and you connect with like-minded people, I'm like, okay, I'm with my tribe now. So This is amazing, because it's about money. But as you know, to create money, to create the energy, because money is energy, it all comes from within, and your external experiences is from what you feel within yourself. So I'm really looking forward to this recording. It's going to be off the Richter scale, guys. Share this live, share it with everyone. Even if it don't resonate with you, share it, because it's healing this world. Is why we chose to come here.
Yeah, correct. I agree with you, because I know for me, Dawn, and you know that from numerous conversations we've had, that if you're not able to let go, and we say sometimes, let go and let God, you just let go of the past, you will never be able to move to your next chapter. But, the truth of the matter is we want to address some of the issues, some of the challenges that have kept people from, I would say, entangled and which has caused them not to be able to move forward. We know that folks have had to overcome so many challenges, and many of them have caused shame and pain. What are some of the issues you think that, or maybe issues that you've experienced that have kept many who are watching here, many families and individuals from moving forward and from forgiving themselves? Dawn, you can go ahead.
Oh, repetitive thinking. Keep thinking about the same old stuff that you cannot change. Keep holding on to that same old energy that you cannot change, because your mission is to focus on the here and now, not the future, but the here and now, because you can't change what already happened. And so a lot of people stay into that mindset of what happened to them in their childhood. You know, every 7 years you have a total different body, organs, cells, the whole nine. And people don't realize that what you're holding on is to the memories. And those memories begin to pull on your health and begin to cause sicknesses and illnesses that you don't want. So whatever you give the most energy to, and which is being not forgiving because you're being kept as a prisoner, you're a prisoner. Why allow someone to continue to hold rent in your head? They're renting in your head and it's costing you. It ain't costing them nothing. So forgiveness goes a long way. And once you finally forgive and let go, then you can finally move forward and really accomplish what you truly came here to accomplish.
But I also would like to talk about specific issues, like in terms of, for example, there are folks who've gone through some really hard financial difficulties. And I know we've had conversation like foreclosures and bankruptcy, unemployment, credit issues that have caused, you know, financial hardships that they're perhaps still dealing with. And relationship issues, you know, like a divorce or bad relationship, an abusive relationship, or even personal challenges, even like a criminal case or record and discrimination, or perhaps people defaming your character. So how do you overcome and forgive when you're still dealing with these issues? What should you look at in terms of like, if you've had to deal with any of these hardships? Gracian.
Okay, so, you know, I love what Dawn just said about forgiveness. Let's take one step at a time. So when we talked about like bankruptcy, financial issue, and how do you move on from forgiving yourself, I think it's important to know that in every situation, there's a lesson to be learned. There's a negative and a positive. And to pick, when you're looking at losing everything, you have to take that lesson and learn to forgive yourself and take that positive out of it. And like Dawn said, you cannot repair the past, but you could learn that lesson so you don't repeat that class again. So by forgiving yourself, you free up your energy field to be able to have more abundance to come in. Because when you focus on something so much, it takes your attention, that energy draw up to that negativity. But if you clear space and you make space for more abundance and you learn that lesson and you move forward to it, because when you think about the past, it creates anxiety, and staying in the present keep you focused. And the future, the past creates depression and the future creates so much of anxiety. So it's staying in the middle. When it comes to relationship, and you know, when it comes to relationship, it is very important also with the same concept. You have to look back. I know my mom always say, you have to know where you come from to appreciate where you are today. So you have to look at that relationship and see what are the things that you could learn from it. And then from there, you go into, okay, I'm taking this out. And not like, don't use the head. I usually use the heart. I said, you know, your heart is a pretty garden. It needs beautiful sunflower. It needs a symphony of things. But when you put people in there and you create that dark, you cannot attract that lightness. You feel heavy, and energy of forgiveness or letting people go like make you feel light. So I hope that answered the question.
Yeah, it's very important that you face, you know, some of the issues. The reality is, Dawn, that people have gone through hardships.
Yeah.
And that's the reason why sometimes it's so hard. You beat yourself over again, like you said, Bastien, that you start thinking about the same thing. Now, how did I get myself into that foreclosure? Maybe I could have done this. Maybe you start playing that record. There's a song that I posted earlier this year, this week actually. It's called The Sound. You play the sound of the same. Actually, this whole conversation about forgiveness started because there's this beautiful song that I love called Forgiving Me. Forgiving Me. And the song talks about how we play the record over and over again. And sometimes there are legit issues that you've had to deal with. Like I said, the foreclosure issues, the bankruptcy, and your bad credit. But how do you pass and go beyond that and start thinking about how to heal yourself so that you don't continue to play the same record? So I know we mentioned it a little bit, but what are some of the reasons why it's so difficult for people to forgive themselves? I know for me, culturally, some cultures, they don't give you room for mistakes. You cannot make mistakes. And if you make one mistake, you can never outgrow that mistake because, again, like a broken record, people keep reminding you. Over 10 years later, they're still talking to you about that old relationship that you had, that you don't even remember the person's first name, but they'll come back and remind you that you had made that mistake, which was a split second of your long life, but they want to remind you. And there are reasons for that, but what are some of the reasons why do you believe that it's so hard for an individual for people to forgive themselves?
Is that for me?
Yes.
Well, you just said it. Culture, ego, embarrassment, how you're going to look to other people, what happened, your embarrassment of the name. And I'm glad that you mentioned that because I had built my first house by myself many years ago here in the DMV. And I was in a relationship with this particular individual. And I had to wind up giving my house up because the person was basically out to use me for their own personal reasons. And I built this house and I had to let it go because they started stalking me because I had them removed from my house and it was my house in my name only. And when I finally got out of that relationship, I had to get a restraining order, the whole 9 for a whole year. I wind up, because I hadn't forgiven myself getting in that relationship with that individual. And what I went through with that house, it was a beautiful house because it actually was an investment for my children. I wound up getting another toxic relationship with the same traits because I didn't forgive myself and I didn't let go. And I just kept holding on to it. And I was angry and I was sad. I was depressed. I was hurt. All the lower vibrations, the fear, everything. And finally, when I began to doing the healing work, which is called EFT tapping, I had learned it from my church, which is emotional freedom technique. And that helped me heal, actually work on healing myself, and which allowed me to attract the phenomenal husband I have in my life now because I needed to do the work. Because if I didn't, I was going to keep continuing to attract that same disrespectful, violent, abusive, lower vibrational relationship because I needed to do the work in myself and I needed to forgive myself. And then look at me now. I had bought another house afterwards with my husband. He brought me the house. It wasn't me leading this time. So he brought me the house. And whenever I would get in a disagreement with him, instead of bringing the baggage from the other relationships into this relationship, I appreciate who I have and reflect back to what happened to me with those other individuals. So I'm grateful and thankful who I have and who I am, and being able to actually learn to love myself.
Definitely. And Gracian, do you believe that some of the reasons, or actually one of the reasons, is that folks believe that they're the only one? Like when you go into a bad relationship, an abusive relationship, or a bad financial situation, you're ashamed and you think you are the only one. And why me? Why not you? I always say. Yeah.
Yes, I think that people tend to think that they are the only one. This is where the power of sharing your story, like just Dawn just did right now, because when you share your story and you're vulnerable, you plant the seed in other people's head that yes, culturally you may feel shame, but you are not alone. And I like the fact that Dawn mentioned the tapping, because I also use tapping in my practice to help people with self-forgiveness, because it's truly important to start with yourself. And
Can you explain tapping? Can you explain tapping?
Okay, so I'll let, you want to explain it, Dawn?
No, you do it, Queen. I love this. I'm so sorry. Yes, explain it. Yes. Go ahead.
So tapping it help release the emotion. So you could start by a statement. Like for me right now, I work with people with disease process. So we would start right here on top of the eyebrow. I would say, I am vibrant health. I am vibrant health. I am vibrant health. Chin and nose, I am vibrant health. Then we go collarbone, I am vibrant health. Then we go liver part is right on top of your abdomen, below your breastbone. I am vibrant health. Then we could do I am vibrant health. And then top of the head, I am vibrant health. And then go back down. And usually I'll tell clients to do it 15 minutes in the morning, 15 minutes in the evening. It's release the cortisol, it's release blood, and help with the emotional release of what you are feeling. I'll let you add some more, Dawn.
And I've also done it where if you can't remember all the positions, you can just do your wrist like Queen Regression said, and it hits pretty much all the points. So you could just do it this way as well if you can't remember all the points. And it's healed me on so many levels. I'm telling you, look it up. It's on YouTube. You got free. Oh, check with Queen here. Go on and she can teach you on her website. I don't offer it on my website, but there are also free videos on YouTube that you can learn too. But you want to learn from a professional that has done it before so they can guide you the right direction.
Yes, definitely.
So you're saying like so you're saying like there's work that you must do in order for you to transition, because if you are in an environment where you are constantly being reminded of your past mistakes, sometimes it could be an environment just by yourself, but the environment reminds you, maybe the chairs, the tables, or anything in the house reminds you. You might want to move away from that, including if you are in an environment and you have individuals reminding you every time. I remember years ago I had made a financial mistake, and I would open my mouth every once in a while to talk to a few people, to that particular friend. Let's just say she's no longer a friend. But I would open my mouth, like she would be asking questions, and I'll say, if I were you, this is what I would do. And one day she kind of brought back, to back that mistake that I had made, to that back at me, to remind me that I didn't have the qualification. I didn't have the right qualification because I had made that mistake. And that's the thing that so many people don't know. Like you say, telling your stories, right? When you've gone through something, you have something to say, and you have experience that you can share with other people. So that's my next question. Why is it important to forgive yourself? Because to me, once you've been able to do that work, then you can pay it forward and help folks live perhaps vicariously through you, so that they don't get to make the same mistake that you've made. Would you agree, Dawn or Gracienne?
Yes, most definitely. Forgiveness goes a long way, because it can hold you as a prisoner.
Yes.
Yes. So do you believe that it can help you become the person that you need to be, so that how can you mentor other people if you've never gone through anything? Because the song says, I wish someone would have told me. She said, you know what, a new day is here. I hold memories of myself, reflections of the things I used to be. And she said, a new day is here. And then she also talks about, like, I wish someone would have told me. I know we all want to live vicariously. We all want to have somebody hold us from making mistakes. But if you're going to be living in this world and you're going to be older than 18, you are going to go through some hardships, right? Financial, like I said, personal, environmental. How do you learn and forgive so that you can pay it forward? Don't you think that's part of the reason why? the number one reason why we're here?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
I think it's definitely part of the healing process, because you have to forgive yourself. You have to learn to look at yourself in the mirror, to be able to look at yourself and let go of the shame, let go of the what people are going to say, and to have the self courage, the self compassion, the self love, and to release those things, and then pick up and the courage and the love for yourself to stand up and tell your story to help other people. That is very important.
Were you gonna say something, Queen?
Oh no, I'm totally agreeing, Regression. I'm totally agreeing with what you're saying. And if you can't do anything else for anyone else in this world, do it for yourself. Self-love. You must first love yourself first. Love yourself first, because you are part of God. God lives in you. So putting yourself first and loving yourself first will not allow you to allow lower vibrations to come into your world or your space. Sometimes some things may pop up from the past, but you have to learn, like, pamper yourself. Give yourself an Epsom salt bath with some lavender in it. You know, do your affirmations of I am phenomenal, I am beautiful, I am amazing, I forgive myself. Like, look in the mirror and talk to yourself, because your words carry vibrations. So if you say, I'm always broke, I ain't never got no money, it's my credit, this was just with my luck, this will always happen. You cursing yourself. You're putting a spell on yourself by saying those words, and you're cursing yourself. Because remember, as I've said many times, that pink thing in your mouth, that tongue, is the strongest muscle in your body, and it's vibration.
Yeah. And the other thing too, Gabrielle and Queen, is that when you forgive yourself, you have to able to go to the dark places also. There are some places that people are so afraid to go. And if you have the right provider to go there, the right healer to take you there, to walk that path, to learn those dark places and go and clear it out. Because if there are so many stuff in your heart, because I always tell my client, when they are so much in their head and they cannot forgive themselves, to go to your heart. Because the heart, most people think it's the brain that's communicate with the heart, but it's the heart that communicate with the brain. The brain is very biased. It's remember all the negativities. When you go to a vacation, when you come back, how fast do you forget how much of a good time you had? Within a week, you forget. You don't remember all the juicy details. But let somebody say negative things to you, you will marinate on it at night. You would remember it. It's always there. So I tell my clients, when things happen like that, when you have this negative thoughts come in, take a deep breath. That's another thing. The gift of breathing could change the chemistry of your cells and change that energy to make you a little bit lighter, so you could think of a positive thing. It's not easy, but you have to start with you, like Don said.
You have to start with you. And I'm not sure why I hear an echo. I'm not sure if that, but you have to start with you, because forgiveness, it's loving yourself. When you are able to forgive and say to yourself, you know what, yes, I made mistake. Even the good book says, we all have sinned. I've sinned. So you have sinned. We all have fallen short. So which means, like, we all have made mistakes, right? So in order for you to move on and to really relish and to really have the best life here on earth, not the afterlife, because I know a lot of people, including folks from my faith, all they talk about is the afterlife. No, I want to have my heavens here on earth. And so in order to have that here on earth, you have to be able to live your best life. Cliche, but that is what it is. And in order for you to have your best life, you have to remember that, yes, 10 years ago, I made a mistake. I married the wrong person. I bought the wrong house. I invested in the wrong business. I made the wrong friends. I invested time and energy and resources to build a friendship that wasn't supposed to be. And you can go over and over and you have regrets. Do you think regrets, and I think that's one of the conversations that I had today,
Yes.
regrets. Actually, I was watching something online and actually my comment was, one of the regrets that I have in my life is the fact that I had invested time and resources in friendships that I should have never. So regrets actually could be one of the things that keeps us from forgiving ourselves. Would you agree?
You know what? Yeah.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
But what I do ask my clients when they bring the regrets, I try to tune it around. I say, what did you learn from that regret? What can pick one or two positive things that you learned from that regrets? Because I think we are all here for a purpose, for a mission, and we have to go through those life changes to make us the person that we are today. And I could think of people that have been in my life that, that wasn't a great relationship, but I could pick at least 3 or 5 things that I learned from them that made me the woman that I am today.
Yeah, I agree. Even if you don't want to be like them, right?
Yes.
That's the number one. It's so important you can learn, if you dealt with someone who was very selfish, you could say, you know what, I don't want to be selfish. I want to be a better friend. I want to encourage my friends. I want to be there for them. I want to support them and be a cheerleader like Dawn is. She's always, clapping for other people. And, and I want to, this morning I was watching one Cindy, her name is, she's on Facebook with me, and she talks about how, sometimes, we are you're asking for forgiveness, but you're not willing to forgive other people. We're asking for wealth, but we're not willing to be happy for other people when you see them wealthy. We're asking for the best job or the best promotion, but as soon as you hear a friend or a family member, and part of that is because you haven't loved yourself enough and you haven't forgiven yourself enough to know that you deserve all these things. And not only do you, but again, loving others as yourself. When you love, you are able to give love. Would you agree, Donna? Dawn?
Yes, and okay, guys, I really need y'all to listen. When you haven't listened to anything else, I'm a past life regression therapist. I'm a future life regression therapist. So when I hypnotize my clients into a theta wave state of mind to find out why they chose to come here, why they have experiences that they're currently having in this life, who they were in that past life, and who those people were to them in this past life, is why they need to now forgive them to move forward. Period. And this is the lowest spiritual realm of all spiritual realms. This is hell. But the one thing about this hell, you can manifest anything you want, but it comes from internally. God says, ask and you shall receive. But if you're praying, oh dear God, please, I want to be debt free. I want that I want to be married, or I want that person in my life. I want to have children. God's going to keep sending you, God, the universe, whatever you believe, is going to keep sending you the same energy because you don't believe. The energy you send in, you're going to keep getting the same thing day after day after day after day. The only thing about this is when you transition, worse than this hell is that you don't believe and go up to the higher spiritual realm because you cannot kill energy. Energy never dies. This is just a very dense physical experience. And the same thing with money, the same thing with that vehicle that you want or you have, that car, that house, everything. None of this stuff really exists. We're just having a 5D, because we're no longer in 3D, but a 5D experience. It all starts with you. Stop blaming other people. Stop blaming other people for your stuff and forgive yourself. How you gonna forgive somebody else and you can't even forgive yourself?
Forgive yourself for things that you've done that you were not too happy with, mistakes that you've made. We all make mistakes, And why not you? There's something, I love it, Gracian. There's something that you can learn from those bad relationships and those bad situations that you can use them. I know for me, my failures, I've been able to pay it forward because I've learned from them, and now I'm helping other people because of my failures. I had posted something earlier this week, a show that I did 6 years ago, And it was like, I became more, I have more empathy and I am more kind, not only to myself, but also to other people, right? Because of the mistakes that I've made. That because, again, going back to culture or even church, you grew up in an environment when they're saying like, don't make mistakes. If you make mistake, it's all over. It's all over. No redemption. Even though the word is all about redemption, right? No redemption. If you make one mistake, or they give a category of mistakes or failures that you could have. You can do this, you can do this, but if you do that, that's it. The grace is no longer abound for you. So because of that, we grew up thinking, you know what? If I ever were to find myself in a divorce state, or in a foreclosure state, or in a bankruptcy state, in a this state, oh, no grace for me. I have to beat myself up until I died, right? But you have I love the song "Forgiving Me" by Mary Mary, because it's a new day is here. Yes. A new day is here. It's time that I embrace it. So in order for you to embrace a new day and move on a different road, right? Move up, level up. What are some of the, I know we've shared some, but specifically, you talked about it a little bit, Dawn. Creating a plan. I believe in creating a plan. You think in order for you to forgive yourself and to move to the next level that you have to have a plan and be very strategic about it?
Is that for me?
Yes. Be calculating. Yes.
Okay, so like when you go buy a bar of soap or shower gel, when you go buy it, do you say, is this gonna make me clean? No, you know it's gonna clean you, so you're gonna use it and you're gonna make it work, right?
Correct.
When you put deodorant on, is this gonna keep my armpits from smelling? I don't know if I should wear it. Maybe I shouldn't wear it. No, you put it on because you know it's gonna help you with your hygiene. When you brush your teeth, when you do your hair, when you dress yourself, you believe that it's gonna work for you. That's what everything is all about. Believing in yourself, believing in the experience, believe. Faith, not hope, faith. Faith in yourself that everything is just like when you make a cake or you make a meal, you're baking a cake or preparing a meal. You know it's going to taste good if you put the ingredients in. That's what life is all about.
So own your story, you mean believe yourself, own your failures, and stand tall. And
hold your head up high.
Yes, and stay away from the naysayers and those who are constantly reminding you of your past mistakes. You agree, Garcian?
Yes, I totally agree. I think, the number one thing, there's something called neuroplasticity, because there are some mistakes that people make, or this is so hard to forgive themselves. So to learn to rewire the brain, like with meditation, self-hypnosis, past life regression therapy, tapping. So you rewire the brain. I have an acronym called the HOPE process. But like Don said, the HOPE is healing the mind. O is open yourself for the changes. And P is plan accordingly. And E is address the emotional factors that are connected to you not forgiving yourself. And take the HOPE, take faith, plus belief equal freedom. Then you free yourself to be who you are, to be authentic, to be the person that you need to be in this world, and to feel your purpose, your vision of why you are here on this universe. So it's about freedom.
I love that. I think I did that before I met you, Garcia, because I remember, again, going back to my own personal, we're not oversharing, but we need to share. I remember saying to myself, oh my gosh, I could have done this. Like I used to beat myself up over and over again because, again, environmental. And one day I woke up and I'm like, you know what? Lucky I survived. Lucky I'm here. Lucky the word is still true for me. Whatever, whatever stigma, whatever anything that I am punishing myself with, it's not real. It's all in my imagination. I need to believe what the word says about me, right? And because I did that, I started owning my own failures and I started owning who I am, who I was. And oh my gosh, It's been very freeing. And yeah, true freedom comes from knowing that you have hope and you have faith and you have belief, right?
Yes, definitely.
So yeah, any last word that you ladies would like to share before I conclude here?
I'll let Dawn go first because I just spoke here.
Well, like I said, I offer many services, so check out my website, queendawnspirit.com. I have many different guests that show up on my YouTube channel, which is Queen Dawn Spirit Reiki Master Teacher. I teach all ages how to become a Reiki practitioner. I actually have one of my teenage granddaughters here who's a Reiki practitioner. It's all about healing, and we need to teach our children. I also have a phenomenal, amazing program, which is called AO Scanning. And I scan, it's a 10-second recording where you just speak into the mic for 10 seconds. I do a lot of my sessions, most of them through virtual, Zoom or whatever over the phone. And it actually tells you everything that happened in your past to make you who you are today. It does a full 37-page report. And I'm offering special on it. So check out my website about it. It tells you what chakras are not aligned. It tells you the 12 Chinese meridians that are not aligned, or which ones are too high or too low. It tells you what colors to wear. It tells it gives you a report from your chromosomes to your muscle skeleton. So, and actually my mentor is a nurse practitioner too, taught me about it. So it's amazing. It's out of this world, totally out of this world. So I want to thank you, Gabrielle, for the opportunity for me to be able to help people to learn how to heal themselves with this phenomenal queen, Gracie, and I can't wait to connect with her in the future. I'm excited. You just don't know when I connect with somebody spiritual like me, then healer, a certified healer. That's right up my alley. So thank you.
Yes. So
thank you.
So I want first and foremost to thank you, Gabrielle, for opening your home, your show for me today. And I also want to thank Pepper Tree Robert, Naturopath, for connecting us together. And I want to thank Queen Dawn for being here. Nothing happened by accident. I think it was meant to be for us to connect here today. And what I want to share is that with the audience is that you have the power within you to do anything you put your mind to do it. I did not get here because I went to school. I get out of school and learn all this stuff. It was by my life experience that got me curious to learn about it, to heal my own self. So if I can do it, you could do it. And I'm looking forward to learn about Dawn protocol with the scanning machine. So I'm really excited for that. So if you want to learn more about me, you could go to jphealthandwellness.com. I am all under social media, so you could go under JP Health Wellness or Gracienne Jean-Pierre. It has been a pleasure to support you, educate you, and also to learn from my fellow sisters here. My heart is full. Thank you so much.
My heart is full too. I'm doing this show because I feel like there's something. I always say it's timely and relevant. There's someone who's watching who's gonna need healing and forgiveness. Again, the CD that I was listening to, and I was reminded of the show that I did 6 years ago, and I went to look through my old videos and I found it and I reposted it. And it's called The Sound that we keep playing. It's like the broken record. You don't want to play a broken record and keep punishing yourself for something that you did 10 years ago. You left that relationship 10 years ago, let go of it. You left that friendship 10 years ago, let go of it. Whatever, that mistake, that financial mistake, that job you lost, let go of it. Because when you're able to embrace a new day, then you'll not only have for yourself, but you'll be able to give to other people. You are a survivor for a reason. You're a survivor for a reason. Your story matters. You should share with other people. Don't let anybody tell you that you should be ashamed. No, don't let shame hold you back. Own your story. Again, we love this audience. We love you, and we want nothing but the best for you, because we know when we have a healed and forgiving and loving community, we all win. I always believe in winning, because when you win, I win, and we all win. So thank you so much, ladies, for this time. I really appreciate your time. Please, if you like this show, I'm sure you do, tag, share, and make a comment. Let your friends know that we're here on Wednesday. We have great topics that we like to, yes, make a comment. We have great topics that we like to share, and we'll continue to do what we do because we believe it's making a difference. Folks are calling us offline. They're sending us messages. No, but we want you to make a comment because the more activities, the more, the I guess, popularity, it does help create a larger audience. So we would ask you to encourage, because this topic here, how many of your friends and family members are going to bed crying at night? They're beating themselves up. They're not able to move to the next better and healthier relationship because they keep thinking about that old relationship they had 10 years ago that didn't work out. It's sad. It's sad. I see it all the time, but I would like for you to help freedom. It's all about freedom. Let's win together. Thank you so much for your time, ladies.
Thank you.